We've all been there before. You're at the end of your fasting period. It's time to break your fast, but you're on the go, or you're running late. You're not able to get to where you would normally be to break a fast. So here's some solutions for breaking a fast on the go. Now, full disclaimer, some of these are going to be things that you don't want to do all the time. Some of them actually would be totally fine to do all the time. They're just more portable options. So let's go ahead and let's dive in. Let's have some fun with this one and be able to solve a big problem that a lot of us face. Hey, I do ask you hit the red subscribe button if you haven't already. So if you're not subscribed to this channel, we have new content daily, and we are the internet's leading intermittent fasting channel with so much science coming your way. So please do hit that little bell icon. That turns on notifications, and you can select all notifications so you never ever miss our daily videos. Okay, so this video, we're gonna jump right in. I'm gonna keep it high level with the science. We're not gonna go super, super deep so that you can just get what you need. Number one, the first thing that you should just have on hand if you're gonna be on the go and you're fasting is really just like a ZIPLOC baggie with some protein powder. Now, there's some rules that I think that you should follow. Here's the reason that protein is the end all be all when it comes down to breaking your fast, okay? Simply put, if you have carbohydrates, you end up spiking your insulin pretty high, so we don't really wanna do that unless we're super controlled. Fats are a lot harder to break down because you have less enzyme force, because at the end of a fast, you just have less enzymatic concentration, so it's hard to break down fats, especially saturated fats. Protein is just the way it should go. It's lower impact in terms of your insulin. It's gonna start activating that muscle restoration, that muscle building. So we really wanna lean towards protein. So everything here is focused on different on-the-go protein snacks that you can break a fast with. So protein powder, I'll tell you what to avoid first. Avoid whey protein concentrate at all cost. Whey protein concentrate is going to have all the milk solids in it. It's going to be very hard for your gut to digest at the end of a fast. So I usually recommend leaning towards like a pea protein or a hemp protein, something that is as clean as you possibly can, that's going to have a little bit less of a, let's just call it a metabolic impact, right? I don't like having whey protein at the end of a fast in general, whether it's protein isolate or concentrate, simply because dairy can be a little bit more inflammatory. I'm not anti-whey protein. I just think that it has a better place than right at the end of a fast. But if you do choose a whey protein, go for whey protein isolate, which is the whey protein that's been isolated, where the protein's been isolated from the whey, versus whey protein concentrate, which has all the other garbage. It's just a cheaper version. You also want to make sure you get a protein powder that does not have any natural flavors in it, unless they are natural flavors that you know of, okay? But you also want to avoid, more importantly, artificial sweeteners, okay? So at the end of a fast, remember, your gut biome has shifted, okay, and you want to support this. So avoid the sucralose, avoid the acesulfame potassium, avoid the aspartame. Most good brands these days are using stevia and monk fruit, so that's easy to find. Bring it in a Ziploc bag, add it with water, break your fast with that. You're done. Super simple. Then 60, 90 minutes later, go have your more regular meal. This is all strategy for breaking a fast on the go. Next up, this is really important that you pay attention to what I'm talking about here. Turkey or some kind of game meat like venison jerky or sticks. I am a fan of beef sticks, don't get me wrong, but right when you break your fast, I usually prefer to have something that's going to be either turkey or venison, or believe it or not, even like boar or even pork if you can get it in a lean sense. Okay, not that beef is bad at all, but right when you break a fast, you want meats that are a little bit higher in thiamine. Okay, what thiamine is going to do is it's going to help support the glucose metabolism that's occurring after you break your fast. Because during a fast, it's been shown that you deplete your thiamine stores pretty darn well. Okay, so we want to replete that as much as we can. Beef is a phenomenal thing to bring into the equation with your next meal, and it's a phenomenal thing to have throughout the rest of your eating period. I'm just talking about right when you break a fast. You're also going to have lower fat levels in things like venison and turkey. Okay, we want lower fat when we break our fast. That way we're just getting quick absorption of the protein, and we're not having to deal with less enzyme force to break down the fats. You guys have probably seen me talk about chomp sticks before. Chomps are the really good quality, non-GMO, grass-fed, grass-finished sticks. Okay, so they have venison sticks as well. So yes, they have a plethora of beef sticks, but the venison sticks are really, really awesome. So I put a link down below. You can check them out. Perfect thing to bring on the go. I almost always put them in my backpack when I'm traveling so that if I'm in a pinch, I can break my fast with a chomp stick, usually utilizing the venison or the turkey one. So check them out down below. You can use jerky as well, but the problem is jerky is usually really tough and it's mechanically pretty hard to digest. The reason I usually opt for sticks is because they're a little bit easier. They're just more, not only palatable, but it's also easier mechanically to digest. At least it feels that way. Okay, number 3, if you're on the road or on the go, you can pop into a store and usually find an unsweetened low-fat Greek yogurt or an unsweetened low-fat Bulgarian yogurt. Now, this isn't top of my list for obvious reasons. It's still dairy, which again, I'm not anti-dairy, but right when you break a fast, I think there's generally better options. However, you at least get that potential anti-inflammatory effect from the probiotics that can counteract the inflammatory effect of the dairy. At least it seems that way. But it's also just good for the gut. So not a bad way to break a fast. Just make sure you're getting ones that are just plain with no flavoring, unsweetened, okay, lower fat is better. And then just maybe use a little monk fruit and sweeten it up yourself so it tastes a little bit more palatable. If you have protein powder on hand, you can put a scoop of pea protein powder in that. Okay, number 4 is going to be smoked salmon. Okay, go to a grocery store and grab some smoked salmon. The hard part is you can't just have it on the go with you all the time. This is more like a grab and go kind of thing. Okay, smoked salmon, you want to keep refrigerated. I don't think anyone really wants to eat lox that have been warmed in your car for a while. Now, word to the wise, go for the sockeye lox. Go for sockeye smoked salmon. Avoid the Norwegian stuff right now because it's been shown to be pretty contaminated. So be careful with Atlantic. Be careful with the Norwegian. Go for the sockeye. It's the deeper red stuff. Has higher levels of what are called astaxanthin. That's what makes it more red anyway. So tremendous antioxidant properties. But it's also leaner. Remember, we want to break our fast with leaner meats, leaner proteins. I love the fat that we get out of salmon. Don't get me wrong. But its place is not right when we break a fast. Its place is a little bit later. So sockeye salmon is leaner. The hard part is it's so high in sodium. Now, I'm not opposed to sodium once again, but right when you break a fast, you're eating 3-4 ounces of smoked salmon. Come on, you're getting like over 1,000 milligrams of sodium. That's a lot, and that can kind of throw off that electrolyte balance. So it's not ideal. I would recommend if you do this, you have magnesium in the equation too. So if you're gonna go for a high sodium thing, like smoked salmon, if you counteract it with a little bit of magnesium, it can at least help restore the electrolytes a little bit so you don't feel as puffy afterwards. The last thing you want is to feel puffy walking around going to bloat city right after you break a fast. Next up, number 5 is going to be any form of clean deli meat, which is hard to come by these days. If it's deli meat, it should not have natural flavors in it. Why would they need to add flavoring to deli meat? So a lot of the smoked deli meats and things like that, avoid those because it's natural smoke flavoring. Natural flavors have over 150 different varieties, okay? And so many of those are not even truly regulated, okay? Meaning they could be incidental additives where they actually have toxins and pesticides and all. It's just not worth it right when you break a fast. This isn't sponsored by Applegate or anything, but Applegate has some really good deli meats, and that's usually the ones you want to go with. Again, higher sodium, so you usually want to have magnesium in the equation as well. Just go for a couple slices. Don't go load up on it. Don't try to get 5 ounces of protein from deli meat. I think you'll be sorry. Your gut will thank you later for not doing that. And then lastly, this one still makes the list, but it's not ideal. That is grabbing a hard-boiled egg or two. But unfortunately, you're going to ditch the yolk. Okay, right when you break a fast, I don't want the saturated fat coming from the yolk. I think the yolk is everything with an egg. When I craft plans for people or when I do anything, I usually tell people, give the egg white to the dog so they get a little bit more protein, but I want you to have more of that yolk. You get the yolk. But in this case, breaking a fast, lean protein. So we'll eat the white, have 2 hard-boiled eggs, ditch the yolk, save the yolk for a little bit later, put it on a Cobb salad with your next meal or something so you don't waste it, but break the fast with the lean egg. That's all you would need. The reason that this isn't at the top of my list, because it does have a good amino acid profile, but the reason it's not at the top of the list is, again, a lot of people have an inflammatory response with egg whites. When they eat egg whites, they see different cytokine values go up. They see different inflammatory markers go up because, I don't know, it could have some strange response because we're eating essentially albumin or a placenta of a chicken. I don't know, who knows? Anyhow, point is, I'm not anti-egg, just we have to be very careful. So just to recap, fast absorbing protein powder mixed with almond milk or water. So next up is going to be turkey or venison sticks. Again, you can do jerky, but sticks are going to be better. Highly recommend that you use Chomps. And once again, they support this channel, so thank you, Chomps, so much. Okay, third is going to be Greek or Bulgarian yogurt. Okay, fourth is going to be smoked salmon. That's going to be sockeye. Fifth is going to be a lean, clean deli meat. And 6 is going to be egg whites, hard-boiled egg whites. So anyway, I hope this gave you some on-the-go options. Don't forget to check out Chomps down below in the description, and I will see you tomorrow for another video.